Many people came here on visitor visa. They don't want to go back. I have hundreds of stories.
What's the current trend in the industry?
Healthcare is the first option, and if you're caught, you are fined a big amount, or maybe you can go to jail. There are two ways where immigration will prioritize your application.
Okay.
Basically, for all type of partnership visas, what immigration is looking for is the four main elements. That clearly means that visa is fake. Yes.
Is that really true?
They want to first know, okay, what is their pathway to residency.
It's adrenaline rush you're getting.
Yeah.
That's why you're addicted to being an advisor.
Yeah.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Never Late Show with Anuvindh, aka nlsa podcast. Today we have a wonderful person with us as a guest, and she's been in the immigration industry from almost 8 years and almost 4+ years working as an immigration advisor. Today we will be exploring complex process of immigration in New Zealand, as well as walking through current trends and current pathways to New Zealand, and share the most of your expertise to our audience, and then we'll try our best to get more information from you.
Sure.
Thank you. And this is Krutika Savaliya. Welcome, Krutika. Welcome to the show.
My name is Krutika Savaliya, and I am a New Zealand licensed immigration advisor. I am working in this industry from last more than 8 years, and I am holding my New Zealand's licensed immigration advisor's license from last more than 4 years now.
You have been in the industry from quite long. You have seen different people, right?
Yes.
You have been with good, bad, and everything. I just want to know, does people lie to you when they submit the application?
Every time. I mean, not a single time. I mean, I have hundreds of stories that when people lie,
How did you catch them?
I always tell my clients that, okay, you should never lie to a doctor and a lawyer,
Yeah.
We're not exactly lawyers, but we do work with immigration law,
Immigration, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you shouldn't lie. So if they still lie, and I mean, it's their luck then, eventually immigration is not gonna grant them the visa. So
Yeah.
how do we catch is that, okay, we ask them such questions, and every time their first answer lead to another question.
Yeah.
So when you ask those questions,
Keep
you
on
can
asking.
tell, okay, oh, he
Yeah,
is
he's
lying
making
or she is
something.
lying, and that's
Yeah.
how you can easily catch that person.
Why are you so passionate about being an immigration advisor?
When I get my client success, absolutely a visa approval, okay, oh wow, okay, this is yes. So it's not only I'm dealing with the easy case or the tough cases, but easy cases are fine. When you get the visa approved, okay, fine, not that happiness. But when you got that complicated case, and when I just work hard, and when I get that approved, especially when I see the client is as well very genuine in their work or in their study or whatever, and once that visa is approved, I see, oh yes, this person deserves.
Yeah.
And when I see their happiness, I feel like, oh, I'm doing great job.
Want to know what's the current trend to the residency? Is that a residency, or is it a pathway? Is it for work visa? Is it like a spouse visa is currently trending? What's the current trend in the industry?
Yeah, sure. So immigration system has been changed from 2020 to recently a full reset has been done by the government. So what happened is, it used to be skills shortage list, it used to be a regional skills shortage list, it used to be a long-term skills shortage list. It is still there, but not in the form of those different lists. Now immigration has introduced a green list. Okay, so if your occupation is under the green list, even in that green list, there are a list of occupations. If your occupation is in the green list tier 1 occupation, you can apply for the straight to residency straight away. You can apply from back in your home country. You don't have to come in New Zealand. That's how the process works. And if your occupation is in the tier 2 occupation, you can apply for the residency after 2 years. So that's how a different immigration pathways where you can apply for the residency. But yeah, there are many occupations. There are still in demand, and people are and even it is divided under the sector agreements. So it is like transport sector, healthcare sector, and those infrastructure sectors where people are the employers are looking for skills, and they are unable to find local people.
What are the current trends in work visa? Like, let's say people who are applying for work visas, what are the current trends?
Healthcare is the first option, like where people want to go. Even people who are coming from the industry which is non-healthcare, they still want to go. Why? Because the job opportunities are there, and also there is a pathway to residency after secure pathway to
Secure
residency, I
pathway,
would say.
yeah.
So that's why people are still moving to that. That is the first thing. Second is construction, yes. So if they hold a overseas qualification, it's very easy for them to apply for the residency, because anyone who wants to come from their home country they have the thing that okay, they want to settle down in New Zealand. They want to first know, okay, what is their pathway to residency, because even with the new work visa system, there is a very limited visa that they are giving. Like that visa will be only valid, I mean, you can only avail that visa for 5 years only. You have to be on a pathway to residency. If not, then you have to go back to your home country.
So you can't apply for another student visa or something?
You can, but not for the work visa. The same category, you can't apply for the work visa.
Current hot trends are in New Zealand, I would say. Is it still, IT is a still hot topic?
IT is a sector where you need lots of years of experience, because New Zealand employers, see, this is based on my experience, I'm telling you. So if you have overseas experience but in that particular role, then the New Zealand employers are very keen to hire with that experience as well. But to get the job for freshly graduate, it's not very easy. Yeah, but it is absolutely in demand still.
I've also noticed there are a lot of new drivers coming to New Zealand with the work visa.
Yes.
Is it becoming a trend at the moment?
It is absolutely, because there are actually types of drivers, but mainly there are class 4 and class 5 heavy truck drivers, where New Zealand local peoples are not, they don't want to do such work, because when you are a heavy truck driver, you have to, you usually are driving for long hours. You are maybe driving overnight as well. So usually local people are not willing to do those things. Okay. So that's where the employers has to look the skills from outside of New Zealand, and that's where they are hiring people who hold the license, who can convert their overseas license to the New Zealand license after XYZ training. If they can drive worthy to drive on road,
and they are issuing license.
Yes.
That's interesting. So I've seen there are new point system which been introduced to immigration. So I have no familiarity with that. I've been with that 160 points thing.
Yeah.
What are the criterias for each points? How can you achieve 6 points for your residency applications?
Okay, so there are mainly 3 parts. So you can claim 6 points, or maybe 3 points from one category and 3 points based on your experience. So just give you an example. If someone has completed a PhD in New Zealand, after completing PhD, you can claim 6 points. So that means as soon as you have the job offer from a New Zealand employer,
direct PhD,
yes,
direct
you can apply
residency.
for the residency straight
Seriously?
away.
Oh,
Yes.
that's really cool.
Yes.
So you don't require any other previous experience have to be shown. No, if you have PhD, and a job offer in your hand, you can directly apply for. Oh, that's really cool.
Yes, but that you have to be mindful that job offer has to be relevant to your previous qualification or work experience. Yes.
Yeah. Well, according to what our
Yes.
PhD she's doing.
Yeah.
The one thing I have heard from different people, right? I've seen like people say, okay, if you are in this industry, the immigration will fast process your visa.
Yes.
Is that really true?
That is absolutely. So there are 2 ways where immigration will prioritize your application.
Okay.
So first is if your occupation is in the green list that I explained you earlier, and that too in the tier 1 occupation. Example, civil engineering technician. That role is in the green list tier 1 occupation list, right? So if you're working in that role, you have the job offer, right? That's how you're working in New Zealand. And if you have that, you meet the specific requirements for that occupation with that green list, then you can apply for the straight to residency, and that's where immigration will prioritize your application. Why? Because your role is in that list. That means it's in high demand.
I have also seen there is a huge trend for nursing students or nursing candidates to be do the capping, and there are so many companies who are promoting the nursing students to be work in New Zealand.
Yeah, so I'll tell you. So see, to become a nurse, I mean to work as a registered nurse in New Zealand, you need to register yourself, your occupation with a.
Is it capping? Is that called capping?
It is, yes, but there are few things that she has to do before she even enter into the cap course.
Okay.
So the very first thing is the applicant has to submit all her documents to Nursing Council. The main requirements are she needs at least a bachelor degree. Second is that she needs to complete 24 months, 2 years of work experience she needs to have in hand, that is worked in the last 5 years. So 2 years within the last 5 years. And third will be the English language requirement.
Another thing that I want to know, about the regions.
Yeah.
So I just want to know how the region-wise applications process.
It used to be when there is a point based system where it used to be
Oh.
160 and 180 points, when if you apply for if you want to apply for the residency, if you're not eligible to get these points, then if you go outside of Auckland region, you get 30 bonus points.
Yeah.
So people, that was the encouragement that government was giving them, so that okay, if you'll go, we'll give you 30 bonus points. Not anymore, but absolutely there is a shortage for kind of all labor or all type of occupations throughout New Zealand, not only in one region, specifically soon after COVID. So that's where the actually the shortages came into effect. So not only in XYZ region, but throughout New Zealand there is a shortage of kind of all occupations.
All occupations. I would say the 6-point system will give and filter more talented people to New
Yes,
Zealand.
absolutely.
Specifically in hospital, like medical industry.
Yes.
Hospitality, how is hospitality working?
So see, New Zealand is the tourism industry, right? And soon after COVID was the biggest factor where there is a shortage in the industry that includes the hospitality sector as well. What happened is people, again, local people, they do not want to work in the those low skill roles where they are being paid low, and now with the new immigration system, the employer has to pay them the median pay rate. So for such specific roles, immigration has given that liberality, I would say, that okay, even employer can pay them less than the median pay rate to attract more migrants to work in this low level jobs, because local peoples, they don't want to
They
work
don't
in
want
this.
to do
Yes. Yeah.
You have handled so many applications. I would say, I don't know, maybe thousands of applications.
Yes.
So every application have a standard process, right?
Yes, absolutely.
What's the process for that?
Yeah, so student visa is a category which is a very interesting, and it is a very high risk category for immigration New Zealand. So all countries have a different immigration's expectation for different countries is different. So for example, if you're coming from India, I'll just give that an example. So if you're coming from from India, immigration knows that okay, for India, this type of documents are acceptable and these are not. Basically, when you apply for the student visa applications, the very first thing you will need is a valid identity proof, that is your passport. Second will be you need you need an offer letter from the institute. Third thing will be that okay, what course are you going to do? Is it really relevant to your previous experience or previous studies? If not, then still, what is the reason you want to change your pathway? So you need a detailed statement of purpose that explains your story, why you want to do this course. Another thing will be that do you have enough funds to show it to Immigration New Zealand, that how will you pay your tuition fees for the course? Apart from that, for each student for 1 year you need to show 20,000 New Zealand dollar
Is
living
it now
expenses.
20,000?
Yes, it is now
Oh,
20,000.
okay.
So if you are studying in a tertiary college, which includes graduate diploma courses, or even masters or any course, for 1 year you have to show $20,000. But if you are coming, let's say, in a school like primary, high school, or intermediate schooling, then you need to show 17,000 a year.
70,000.
So that is another requirement. Apart from tuition fees and living expenses, you also have to show the funds availability for your own outward travel out of New Zealand. That do you have enough money? If you want to go back, do you have enough money to buy ticket? So that is another requirement. And the main requirement will be health and character. That you need to meet the health requirements, you need to meet the character requirements, and yeah, these are the mandatory and the very, these are the things that immigration will check.
So I've seen people who came to New Zealand in a tourist visa moved to work visa. So what are the pathways for that?
Many people came here on visitor visa. They don't want to go back. There are so many reasons that they don't want to go back. The very first thing is, as soon as they came here on visitor visa, they just went out and they see New Zealand culture.
The nature is
that's
very addictive.
amazing, right? People are amazing.
Yeah.
They say, oh, living style, lifestyle is
Very
great. So the people don't want to go back to their home country, and that's where they decide, okay, if we are here, we like here, why not try to apply for the jobs? If they get the job and if the employer is supportive, they apply for the work visa.
Yeah.
Absolutely, whatever the employer's requirements are, which is like does the employee needs to have that XYZ qualification, ABC years of experience in X industry. If they meet that, they apply for the work visa, they can be granted a work visa, not a problem. But yes, immigration is super strict on one factor, bona fide. That is called bona fide. Immigration can say, oh, you said when you came here on visitor visa, you said, oh, you wanted to come and visit New Zealand. Now your purpose has been changed. What happened? What has made you to change this decision? So it's again very technical, so all cases are different. So that's how, as an advisor, that is our responsibility to understand the case. Okay, is there a genuine job offer or not? But people are doing, and it can be convertible, absolutely.
Oh, that's amazing. What happens to a person when his or her visa got expired today or tomorrow? Like, let's say visa is gonna expire by tomorrow.
Usually what happens is you need to plan ahead if your visa is expiring. But whatever the reasons, if it gets expired or about to expire, not really expired but about to get expired, then you need to apply for any visa to live in New Zealand lawfully. Because once your visa expires, that means you are unlawful living in New Zealand. And once you're unlawful, to get another visa, that is called Section 61 request. To get that, it's a very
Can you repeat that? What's it?
It's a Section 61
Oh,
request.
okay.
Yeah. So it's not really a visa application, it's a request that you are making, and Immigration New Zealand can decide whether to open that application even or not, So if they want to, they will. If they won't even give you, they won't give that opportunity for you to respond to any of their further concerns. They'll just decide an application. Okay, we have decided to decline your request or whatever, something like that. So usually what we recommend, and it happens quite a few times, when client may forget or something happens, in that case we always apply for at least visitor visa, to at least to sort out that further plan of action. Say for example, someone has a job, but while the employer is sorting out other processes to offer them the job, there are lots of stages that employer has to pass on before they offer the job. And if that is not yet ready, what will the applicant do? So in that case, you apply for the visitor visa under exception to instructions, and by the time you get the visa approved, and then you apply for the work visa.
Is it good to approach an advisor at that time?
I would say yes, because you don't know. Usually visitor visa is what for tourism purpose.
And this is an exceptional case as well.
Yes.
Okay.
But you have to explain these reasons, that why are you applying under exception. That this is the evidence, I am getting job, but it will take some time, this and that.
So this is entirely a different category of like visitor visa.
It is still a visitor visa, but I would say how immigration takes it as an under exception to instruction they granted. It is still a visitor visa general.
I'm getting so many calls from my friends who recently got a new visa to as a student visa or some kind of work visa or something. There are a lot of scams happening in specifically in Asian countries. I've seen. How can I help them? Or how should they validate their visa is valid or not?
Right. Okay. So there are ways to validate this, because I actually have got few visas for me to check whether this is a genuine visa or not. Actually, one agent in India, actually, I'm just saying that's an education agent. They can only do student visa, not any other visas for New Zealand, right? He sent me 3 visa copies, and before even he asks me that, okay, can you check this visa are valid or not, I mean the genuine visas or not, and I was like, oh, do you want to know is this visa are fake visas or the real visas? And he was like, yeah, because I can see the format was not correct. As a profession, I know, because I do that work every day. So just looking at that, I can see, oh, this is not the correct visa. One. This is someone has made it. Another way is, I would like to add few ways, as I mentioned. Another one is visa view services.
Oh, okay.
So visa view
from Immigration New Zealand?
Yes.
So, visa view services.
Yeah, so you can create a login. Like normally people do have Realme logins. I mean, you as a friend want to help. If you create or register yourself as a visa view services, I mean, employers can check, education providers can
anyone
check
can
as well.
Register, or does it require any?
I think anyone can register, and then you enter those details and you won't find anything. That's the second thing.
Okay.
But if that visa is not genuine, maybe you won't get what you want to look for, because that will only show if the visa is actually valid or current. And the alternate way is that applicant go to a licensed immigration advisor, and then we as an advisor, we can contact immigration, we can give their clients details, and they will see, oh, this visa is not in the system. The application number you're quoting is not actually in the system. So they'll say, oh, this is not the visa in our system. That clearly means that visa is fake.
Let's say someone want to submit a partnership visa. What are the documents they are looking into?
Sure. So, see, there are mainly three types of partnership category. I would say one is culturally arranged marriage. If you are married to your wife or your husband in a culturally, arranged marriage way, which is not that, okay, you were in love and then your family have now arranged that as an arranged marriage. No, that's not how immigration defines it. That's a one way. Another one is, if you're holding a temporary visa as a supporting partner, then you can support your partner under partnership based visitor visa or partnership based work visa. Same with if you're a New Zealand resident or citizen, you can support your partner on a partnership based work visa or partnership based visitor visa, right? For all type of partnership visas, what immigration is looking for is the four main elements. That is, if you have lived together enough, if your partnership is genuine or not, if your partnership is stable enough or not, and in all your statements, are you both as a partners, are you credible enough to provide any statements or any documents to Immigration New Zealand?
I've heard so many stories of fake documents being submitted.
Yeah.
Do you remember any kind of stories that you can really bring into the audience?
I know. I mean, as soon as you said, I clearly can remember one, like a very
I don't have to
bad
say any
case.
names.
Of course, no, I'm not going to say that. But yes, what that one of our client did is, he didn't have much living together, like address proof documents. So what he did is, because
But they were really married?
they were in a de facto relationship from like quite a few months.
Is it like a
So
backside arranged?
it was actually a genuine relationship, right? I won't say it wasn't genuine.
Okay.
But what happened is, because he didn't have much documents to provide to us, and we didn't force him, right? Whatever he could have, we could have suggested other type of documents. What he did is, on his Vodafone internet or communication that bills, he has actually, it was only in his name. He has added his partner's name too. Just to show it like genuine.
Is it like digitally edited?
Yes.
Oh, that's...
But like if you'll see, because sometimes how our clients scan the documents, you feel like, okay, maybe it wasn't scanned, that's why it is not very clear, something like that.
Yeah.
So we couldn't really find it out, honestly.
Yeah.
What happened is, that's immigration, when they verified. They verified the document. They can't, because you're in New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
It is very easy to find out.
Yeah, most of the things are centralized only.
Yeah. Immigration has contacted Vodafone just to check this, and they can like, oh, this is something not right. And that's where immigration was like, no, you are doing this. You are misleading immigration by providing these fake documents. And that's why the client went into trouble. Then we had to explain his side of the story, but it wasn't intentional. So
still, did it got succeed?
Yes, later on, after fighting a lot.
That's adrenaline rush you're getting.
Yeah.
And that's why you're addicted to being an advisor.
Yeah,
so
you can imagine.
Yeah, you're handling so much complex cases, I believe.
Yeah.
One final question I want to ask.
Sure.
Why should we hire you or any immigration advisor?
Okay. So see, immigration advisor is a professional, person who will give you the correct, advice, because not a random person. I mean, if we talk about, like, if I'll talk about you, partnership visa, maybe student visa, but you won't know many other categories of applications. Now the clients will come to you, and you don't know what they are coming for, right? And once they'll tell the story, you can't really tell them exact type of visa.
But legally I can't even provide advice.
Not at all.
Right? Yeah, true.
It's an unlawful advice. If you're not holding a license, you can't provide advice. And if you're caught, you are fined a big amount, or maybe you can go to jail. So that's you shouldn't be doing it, but people still do it, especially the people who are not in New Zealand,
like specifically in friend circle.
And New Zealand government or New Zealand police not gonna go and catch them. When the applicants or the clients want to choose their advisor, they should be very wise in choosing who they're choosing for. They can, as we discussed before, I mean, they will easily know that if they're asking such question, what type of guidance the advisor is giving, and based on that, I would say, to get like genuine advice, they should always look for the professional, that's an immigration advisor, and that they are holding license.
Always do your due diligence. Always make sure you're getting the right person. This is your life. Yeah, thank you for your amazing expertise.
Thank
And
you.
this has been a wonderful journey. Came to know all new rules, all different categories of visas. And I also congratulations on your new enterprise that you have
Thank
started.
you. Thank
All
you.
the best for that. If you want to talk to Krutika, you will be able to see the contact list over here, contact email address. You can always email to her. We'll be giving more information on the comments. If you need any questions, she will be able to give you free advice for first. She will be getting the right information from the right person.
Yeah.
So, signing off for that current episode. We will be seeing next time with an amazing person. Signing off from Nlsa Podcast. See you next time.